This is the Criterion Creeps podcast, and tonight we continue on watching the Paul Robeson Portraits of the Artist box set. I guess this would be disc 2, RJ.
Of what, a 6-disc collector set?
Only 4 discs or something. I've never seen this thing before. So between YouTube and the Criterion channel, we're figuring it out. We're piecing things together because while Body and Soul from 1925, directed by Oscar Michaud, is on the channel, Borderline on YouTube.
Where is it?
YouTube.
Or is that a sponsor?
No.
It's not a sponsor of ours?
Our good friends YouTube.
Shit.
They're no Tubi, let me tell you.
I mean, they're not. They're definitely no Tubi. Tubi's ads are way fewer than the other one you mentioned.
Yeah, the two people.
YouTubi.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTubi. Yeah, it's too bad, but that's the thing about Criterion movies. They're not real, so sometimes they're hard to find.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think even toward the end of this this collection, these movies just aren't on the Criterion channel at all.
Are they also on Tubi? Potentially?
Nope.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Shit, what do we do?
Now we'll figure that out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Is it the end of the Criterion Creeps?
In 2 weeks. Oh, we'd only be so lucky. And
okay.
as would our listeners. So, today, I was asked by the girlfriend, RJ, about how these movies were going to go. The look in my eyes apparently was like, well, how many more of these are there? And to which I responded for 4 more.
Whoa. I thought next week was the last week. Is it not 2 more next week?
No, it's 2 more next week, and then 2 more after that.
There's 8 fucking movies in this thing?
Uh-huh. See, that was my face.
Why did they do that? 8 of any movies is too many. It doesn't matter who it is. I know Paul Robeson's this American treasure, but that's too many movies, Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyways, continue.
Well, yeah, so as the life drained out of my eyes, I thought about, oh man, more movies to watch, huh?
Yeah.
This was a rough week one. This is a rough one, RJ, this week. Not going to lie.
Oh, weird. I didn't think you'd have that response. I thought you're kind of playing your hand a little early, but okay, I'll let you finish.
I got a message from you. Silent films, eh? I hadn't started watching Body and Soul yet at this point. And then I watched Body and Soul, and I responded, silent films, eh?
You knew exactly what I meant. Once you started watching, you knew what I meant, right?
Yeah. I know. Well,
yeah.
What's this Body and Soul from 1925?
I don't know.
A synopsis from Letterboxd. A minister is malevolent and sinister behind his righteous facade. He consorts with and later extorts from the owner of a gambling house and betrays an honest girl, eventually driving them both to ruin. Or ruin.
Ruin? Is it spelled weird?
No, it's ruin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so hot dog, we got a movie here. So
sure.
We got Paul. So okay, RJ, after last week's introduction to Paul Robeson, what do we know about Paul Robeson? Really? If you had to
I know that he was a communist, but not in a bad way.
Okay. But what else?
He was a champion for equality and the right, the freedom to believe in whatever thing he wanted to.
What else, though? What did he do for a living?
He was a singer?
He was a singer.
Singer, songwriter, actor?
He was, so this man, famed for singing.
Yeah.
Here he is in silent film, where you don't get to hear his voice. But what you do get to hear is some jazz, some times like trip hop. Boy, oh boy.
Well,
Boy, oh
there's
boy.
there's like some Miles Davis-y type stuff in here, but then there is like I was thinking of Mos Def a lot. I was like, I bet Mos Def is really into this kind of that kind of breathing into the microphone.
There's not that type of breathing in this though. This is very clean. This is some of that like digital audio.
Oh well, whatever you were doing just now, maybe it wasn't breathing, but it sounded like the ASMR, like this is me breathing, kind of thing.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Vern.
So,
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
This score just stunk.
Why don't you tell me about it?
All these films, they I don't know. It doesn't fit the era at all.
Yeah.
It's very contemporary, and I find that you're going to put a score over your silent film, it's got to be real like perfect, I think, and like almost across the board, they fuck it up.
They fuck it up?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that could just be like your opinion, man.
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, there are times where I do like the jazz in this. I'm like, yeah, I like this jazz. That's good. That's good. And then there's other times where I hear stuff and I go, I could do without that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jer?
Yeah. So
you know what I'm talking about?
So the director of this, Oscar Micheaux, so he is kind of thought of as the first major African American feature filmmaker.
That's
so
cool.
That's of note, I guess.
Sure.
Body and Soul, though, it is not much to write home about in the whole plot department.
Not in plot? I thought this thing was brimming with plot. Plot.
Yeah. Well, it's got a couple of hoary old cliches, RJ.
Oh, such as?
Well, number one is, like, what do you call it? Estranged identical twin.
Yeah, there's some of that in here. Some of that.
And we'll get to the other one. I'm gonna run through this plot for you, RJ.
Hit me with some
hot off the wiki presses.
Hit me with some plot.
An escaped prisoner seeks refuge in the predominantly African American town of Tatesville, Georgia, by passing himself off as the Right Reverend Isaiah T. Jenkins. He is joined in town by a fellow criminal, and the pair scheme to swindle the phony reverend's congregation of their offerings. Mm-hmm. Jenkins falls in love with a young member of his congregation, Isabel Perkins, even though she is in love with a poor young man named Sylvester, who happens to be Jenkins' long-estranged identical twin brother. So double time for old Paul Robeson.
It just happens, man. It just happens like that.
You know, Jenkins steals money from Martha Jane, Isabel's mother, and convinces the young woman to take the blame for his crime.
Well, who hasn't been there? Like, personally?
She flees to Atlanta and dies just as her mother locates her. Wow.
Just as?
Just as.
Damn, that's too bad.
Before dying, Isabel reveals to her mother that Jenkins raped her, and he is the one who took her mother's money.
Oh, damn.
Shit. She explains that she did not speak up before because she knew her mother would not believe her. Mm-hmm. Returning to Tatesville, Martha Jane confronts Jenkins in front of the congregation. Jenkins flees, and during a twilight struggle, he kills a man who tries to bring him to justice. The following morning, Martha Jane awakens and realizes the episode with Jenkins was only a dream. She provides Isabel, who is not dead, and Sylvester with the funds to start a married life together.
Is that what this movie is about?
That's what happens.
Really?
Yep.
Damn. What did I watch?
I don't know.
I watched something wildly different, Jarrett.
Yeah.
Wildly different.
Were you watching Body and Soul on RedTube?
No, the movie I was watching, it was like there was this guy who wanted to be a chef, and there was like this like rat that also wanted to be a chef, and they were like kind of helping each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the movie. That was the film that I watched.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we have to start all over again. We'll be back in, what's the runtime on this? 102 minutes? I don't think it was that long.
It sure felt like it.
Oh, most definitely, RJ. Most definitely.
Especially the other one, too. You feel every minute.
Every minute.
Of these bad boys.
3 minutes feels like 10.
10 minutes feels like 10 hours. It's just a great, great time.
Yeah. As people can probably pick up on what we're saying here. Not a good time to be had here watching these movies.
But Jarrett, what about cinematic history?
Ah, yes. That old chestnut.
Is that not the defense people just have for like silent films? It's like, it's part of history, man. And you go, okay. What else? You know?
What else?
Yeah. Or whatever you were gonna say.
Yeah. So the one thing I'll say that kind of reminded me of last week's movie was there is sort of this immediacy at times about the way this is being shot, because these are like fairly low budget independent movies. So there's this sort of a feeling at times, at least at the very start of the movie, where you're like, oh, this is kind of like, doesn't, again, feel quite like a silent film. But then it starts to really bog down into like completely unremarkable territory for me.
Yeah.
And I did, of course, at one point, as I was watching this, I'm like, where is this going? What Paul Robeson's like some reverend guy, but he's kind of scummy, and he's shaking down this guy who runs the bar, like runs this club, saying, well, you know, if you don't pay up, I'm going to start preaching about how gambling's bad, and that's going to hurt your bottom line, friend. And I was like, okay. And then I'm like, this is going pretty slow. What's the payoff? And then when I read that it ends with, and it was all just a dream. Whew.
You said they Mario 2'd me.
Yeah.
Bastards.
That's right. And at least Mario 2 is an all-time classic video game. Is. Body and Soul from 1925. Not so much.
Even more? Did you mean to say? I think you pronounced that wrong.
Okay.
Even more of a classic is what he meant to say. Yeah. Well, why don't you tell me about all the things that you really enjoyed in this movie? Oh, that it was a movie?
Yeah. It's amazing when people come together 103 years ago. Because this movie is it's almost 100 years old. And it shows its age.
I mean, it's neat. And it's one of those things. A lot of the people who are going to be commenting on the YouTubes for this episode or just
the robe heads,
the robe heads or whatever, and they go, these guys just don't understand cinematic history.
Hey, we don't.
I don't. It's a 100-year-old movie.
I don't.
And you need to appreciate it, whether it's good or not. It's like, yeah, I understand. But like 600 years ago, like entertainment was like people shitting in their own hands and throwing it in the air. You know what I mean?
They didn't have chopsticks yet.
They couldn't keep their fingies clean. So it's like, you know what? You can like talk about stuff and be like, yeah, it's a 100-year-old movie. It's cool that they were doing it at the time. But like, is it as good as American Sniper? I don't know, Jarrett. I don't know if it lives up to that kind of caliber of film. You know what I mean?
Like the caliber of the bullet you'd put into a rifle?
Yeah, when you're watching these Robeson films.
Right. Why? Why are you doing that while you're watching these movies?
Well, do you know about anger?
Oh my goodness.
I don't mean like towards anybody.
Well, interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
I know. Tell me more.
Jarrett, have you ever been mad that nobody will have relations with you? Have you ever felt that you needed to act out in a violent way because of it? Do you have a Reddit account? Is the key question there.
Yeah.
And that'll answer all the other questions.
What kind of groups are you on?
Well,
let me tell you about 12 rules.
Let me tell you about Oliver Granger and the accounts that he is subscribed to. Hey, he told me once he was on 4chan. What else do you want me to say? What were you talking about? A movie, hey?
We were talking about a movie.
Do you have anything else?
This movie, I believe this movie was once considered lost.
See, that's one of those. It's what I always say.
The director's cut was lost. So this is not even the full version of his Oscar Micheaux's vision.
Not his full vision?
No. So it's compromised. Can't even talk about it.
Damn. Yeah, what was I? These movies fall into that camp of historically significant films. I think that it's like, I think these are cool that they're in the Criterion, but I don't know who it's for. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of we always talk about
film buffs.
Film buffs. But like, how many copies of this do you think they've sold ever, all time?
The Paul Robeson collection?
Yeah, like 20.
I'm
Wes
not
Anderson
sure.
owns 2 of them.
I'm not sure how many units this was selling. Probably to a lot of institutions, libraries.
Yeah.
And then there's the discerning collector of a Criterion who just buys every single one. There's Gary, and then
there's Gary.
He
says, "What is this?
This
is old."
He's like, honestly, I only watched half of it. What Gary will say.
You say, I stopped watching about halfway through. I was just kind of bored.
He dozed.
Yeah, and dozed. Did you doze?
Yeah.
Dozy doe?
Yeah. RJ, I did.
Yeah. This one I was okay with. The second one, I did some serious dozing. I might have even done a little bit of snoozing.
Snoozing?
I might have done some snoozing in that one.
This becomes more of an issue, especially when they're silent films, and you can't just hear what's going on.
Yeah, and it's just I tried my best to give like body and soul my full attention. I did, but you're at home, you're watching this 100-year-old silent film. The jazz is okay, and you're like, that's interesting.
You have a cat to pet.
Yeah, and you watch, and you're like, yeah, I gave this a solid run. And then you check the screen time, and it's like 13 minutes, and you realize you have over an hour left or something, and you go...
that's an hour and 20 minutes.
And you go...
No.
Okay.
No.
See, I see what kind of movie this is going to be. And it's not even like one that you can be like super distracted on and still pay attention, because English movies, at least, you can hear what's happening, and you can
English movies
stare at the wall.
Sound talkies.
The talkies.
You like the talkies.
And you can stare at the ceiling and just be like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh, that's
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. He's in Africa with a lady that he's not too friendly with. That's crazy.
Ostriches.
Ostriches. They're native to Africa, Jarrett. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah. I don't know. It's historically significant, but it's like, I feel like this should just be like a box set that is outside of the spine numbering. Do you know what I mean?
So we don't have to watch it.
So we don't. This should be in, like, you know how Chantel Ackerman has all those like Eclipse series, like things that like they're not spined, but it's like, if you like this shit, here you go.
Yeah, this definitely has big Eclipse series vibes to me.
That's what it should be. That's what it should be, and it's the same with like. That's why they stuck all the Ackermans in there. I know there's a lot of Ack heads out there nowadays, but it's like, how many are there actually? You know what I mean? How many of you guys have actually watched those fucking movies? And like the Agnes Vardas and the Dog Star Mans, the Brackmans. Like, that's another thing that should be. Well, Jared. But yeah, I think this would work way better as a unnumbered box set that says, here's for the Rube heads. Here you go, bud.
This just comes down to, I don't want to watch this.
I don't want to watch this, and I'd rather not.
Yeah, this is not a great experience in the actual framework of which our podcast exists.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I didn't know that there was 4 more of these. I thought there was 2 more, and the entire time watching these, I went, hey, at least there's only 2 more, and we're done.
Halfway now, RJ.
Unbelievable.
I think we're past the silent era, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. Then I'll be okay. Because like last week was fine. I was like, yeah, that's fine.
I like Emperor Jones.
Yeah, Emperor Jones is cool, and I don't think his movies are bad or anything. It's like that. It's like the internet has killed my attention span.
Yes.
Is how I want to approach this. Okay.
Blame the internet.
It's the internet's fault. Yes, and the bees. I don't know, man. Like, I just watch like Body and Soul. I actually thought was like the story of this movie. I was like, oh yeah, gambling preacher man. They would remake this nowadays, and it'd be like Ethan Hawke as the preacher man who gets voted and like threatens the gamblers, and other stuff happens. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe Amy Adams is in there somewhere, or like somebody. I guess it probably wouldn't be Ethan Hawke if they remade this, because but that's just who I pictured when I thought of an alcoholic priest.
Right.
And that's not slander against the Hawke estate. Let's not say that, everybody. Let's just cool it on that one, okay? But yeah, I don't know. I actually didn't mind like that story part of it, but like it's just I don't like silent films. I don't like how expressive it is. It all just seems like it's like a junior high drama class to me, where everyone's like, yeah, like because they have to like emote so much.
I think you just say theatrical.
It is theatrical, and you know what I think about drama kids, Jarrett?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I've always said about drama kids.
You love it. You love Tales of Hoffman especially.
Oh well, where would you rank this on the Tales of Hoffman scale?
Below.
Below Tales of Hoffman?
Because that I did watch. Like, completely.
You have Tales of Hoffman at what, like number 3 on your list?
Do I? I wasn't aware.
Well, yeah, you're a huge Hoff head.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, this guy's a huge Hoff head. Huge. So anyways, yeah, Body and Soul. It's a movie. It's old. People will like it because it's old. Does that mean it's good? I don't know.
No.
I don't know, Jer.
How does this measure up with
Borderline?
Border Radio?
I don't know, man. This might give Border Radio a run for its money. What about King of Kings? Because that's another silent film. Remember King of Kings?
Was that in this grouping? Well, it wasn't for me because it hasn't been.
Oh.
I only go from 301 to 400. So.
I know that's the way you're supposed to do it. The way I did it is dumb. Everybody knows. My list is almost meaningless, I have to say. Because there's movies in here that are like kind of low that I'm like, hey, that movie's not bad, and like I'll see like two rows of movies ahead, and it's like it's probably better than those ones. But then again, it's like I watched that like 5 years ago. I can't decide anymore, I can't say.
Remember Shoot the Piano Player?
Fuck, who could forget Shoot the Piano Player? A triumph of a film.
Yep.
A triumph. Do you remember My Meteor? Where does this rank between this and Carl Theodor Dreyer's My Meteor?
I feel like that and that Robeson documentary from last week are like on the same tier.
Same tier? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep. Yeah, you're probably right.
So you want to hear about Borderline?
I'd rather hear about Borat. Can you tell me about Borat, Jarrett?
Over the borderline. Starring Paul Robeson, one of the first black movie actor-singers to achieve mainstream popularity in a rare silent role. Rare.
Okay.
This experimental drama was thought lost until the 1990s when it was rediscovered by the British Film Institute. Fucking British. The Switzerland set melodrama takes place in a resort and chronicles the reaction of patrons when an interracial couple shows up for a stay. Some critics claim that careful, sensitive viewers may be able to pick out gay subtext running throughout the story.
Was that a part of this film?
Yep.
Did I miss that?
Yep. You did. You blew it.
Okay. All I remember is the knife fight, so we'll talk about that in like 20 minutes. So tell me more about Border Radio.
Borderline, RJ, not to confuse with Border Radio.
The skate shop in Creepsville?
Yep.
Yeah, go support Borderline.
Sure.
It's a great store. They give back to the kids, Jarrett.
The kids?
They make skate parks for the kids.
Yeah.
So go check it out. Great institution.
Well, first of all, what can you tell me about avant-garde experimental filmmaking techniques?
Oh, what do you want to know, man? Because I can tell you everything. I have seen at least 2 Cassavetes films.
Whoa.
All right? At least 2. So avant-garde is this thing that started. It was actually a topping for a taco, and somebody misinterpreted it, but didn't want to sound like an idiot, so they threw it into a movie. And then 100 years later, here we are, Ethan Hawke's in a Paul Schrader movie. You know what I mean? It's just the way it goes. Some people think that's avant-garde, right?
So the plot, RJ.
Yeah.
The plot. The film revolves around an interracial love triangle and its effects on the local townsfolk.
Oh, wow.
The story is based in a guest house occupied by a set of liberal, hedonistic young people sympathetic to the emerging black American culture. In what would have been completely frowned upon at the time, the manageress has let out a room to a black couple, Pete Moran and his wife, Ada. Ada has an affair with Thorne, a white man, much to the dismay of the prejudiced townsfolk and Thorne's wife Astrid. Pete attempts a reconciliation with Ada, but she eventually decides to leave him in the town. Astrid confronts Thorne on the affair and attacks him with a knife. In the scuffle, Astrid is killed. The film concludes with the aftermath of Thorne's trial for murder and the townsfolk's resolution of the issue.
As incredible as what that's a great description.
So this list of cast: Paul Robeson as Pete Morand, in brackets, an African American.
Like, what does that mean? That like he wasn't, or that he didn't exist?
Just to make sure you're aware.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was pretty sure I understood that, but okay, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
So tell me more about this guy, Jarrett.
About who, the director?
No, I don't know. Tell me more about any of this.
Tell you more about any of this. So yeah, when I started watching this, I'd seen somebody mention on Letterboxd something about editing, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
But then the movie kicks off, and I'm like, oh, this movie does have like quickly paced editing. And then of course, there's a whole entry on the Wikipedia page about cinematic techniques.
What kind?
Because apparently he met Sergei Eisenstein the year earlier, this Kenneth McPherson fella.
Eisenstein?
And he was like, I must do Kino.
Holy shit, not Eisenstein.
So I'm gonna dress it up. I'm gonna use some of that montage I've been hearing so much about.
Oh shit,
Sergei, and to really excite up this film, which is I don't even know what you call this in terms of is this by the numbers? For 1930, this movie was shot in Switzerland, so it is a real independent film. RJ, that is at 63 minutes. Whew.
Jarrett, what do you know about experimental filmmaking?
Well, I know that it's sometimes falls under this umbrella of art house.
Art what?
Art with a big A.
Art house.
Cinema.
What?
Okay. Art house film.
There's no other word you would use for that?
Not at all.
Okay.
So this is very much about elevating. I would say like what I found to be pretty, I don't know, stock kind of paperback stuff. Which, I mean, it's hard to say how 1930s audiences would have taken to, but like, who's going to go see this movie? Where are they going to see it? I'm not sure if this is going to be released into theaters. I mean, they got Paul Robeson. People liked him. And how are they going to...
I prefer Paul Risen.
Paul Risen?
Paul Reiser.
Reiser, there you go.
Paul Reiser.
Typical.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What do you prefer, couplehood or parenthood?
I'm mad about you.
Okay.
Mad about you.
Not aliens?
Mm-mm. You know who's in Aliens? You know who else is in that film, I should say?
I know. Who, RJ?
An actor.
Say his name.
Can't. You gotta let the dead rest. We gotta let him rest, because if we say his name, he will stir, and guess what? He might get you. He might get you. What were you talking about?
Cinema.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I question everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. This movie takes a lot of time getting going to where it's going to go.
Sure it does.
Sure it does.
Sure it does.
And it's also kind of like hard to tell who people are. It doesn't feel very clear.
Are you saying that the narrative could have had a little bit like clearer direction in like the presentation of the characters?
Possibly, but I don't even know if it's about the editing, which I just found like it just brings so much attention to itself. And I think there's like these lingering camera shots of at various points, like, you know, Paul Robeson's hands and the way his pants hang off his body.
What do you mean by that? Like his trousers?
Erotically charged. That's right. Trousers.
What do you keep in your trousers?
I don't know. I got some keys. Car
minifigs?
No minifigs. That's a horrible way to store your minifigs.
Is it?
Terrible.
What if you need one on the go?
You know what you need, RJ, for your for your minifigs is magnets.
But where did the magnets go?
On the bottom of the bases.
But how do you travel with those?
You use one could use like a sheet of metal. One could use a
like in your pocket.
No, you carry it. But or you really go wild and splurge and get yourself a Magna rack.
And what's that like?
I don't know. It's like a very expensive piece of luggage for your minifigs.
Oh, you don't have one?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I 100% do.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Keeps the figs nice and safe. All cool people have them, RJ.
Really? I don't have one.
I don't know. What does it say about you? What are you going to put? You're going to put one Bane in there? Keep him safe? Like
I built in a stand in my wall. That's where Bane lives. Yeah. Look at that. It's built into the wall.
What are the rules for Bane in Age of Sigmar?
Rules for Bane?
Yeah.
Bane has no rules. Bane knows.
How many points is he?
Bane?
Yeah.
At least like 6.
Okay. So 6 points, that's pretty good. But he's got no rules, so maybe that's kind of a ripoff.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, man.
No.
Do you want to be on the inside of history, or do you want to be one of the guys who doesn't like Borderline?
What do you think about psychoanalytical approaches to cinema, RJ?
I know about
like our good friend G.W. Pabst, the director of Pandora's Box.
Well, I mean, for me, it's all about symbiopsychotaxiplasm.
Oh, absolutely, and tits, obviously,
and brackage.
Brackage.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. But I mean, what are you about?
Well, I'm about unconventional post-production editing myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Post-production, hey?
Yeah.
You know, I heard a lot of people got mad at like George Lucas for the post-production.
Hey, where would you say Kenneth McPherson's brilliance lies in this film?
Right up front.
Would you say it's his ability to photograph small movements as nuanced, meaning-producing gestures?
I mean, I would say that like his nuance, if you see it, it's in the fine print.
It always is in the fine print.
It's in the fine print. That's how nuanced it is. Yeah, it's in the fine print. It's in the fine print.
Okay. How about this? How about this one? This is a source from allvoices website.com. Judged on its own merits, Borderline is a groundbreaking work, dealing as it does with issues of race and sexuality at a time when such subject matter was still largely taboo and had only been previously tackled cinematically through oblique inference.
Inference.
Yes.
Inference. What are they inferring to us?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 kind of thing.
Is it? Does anyone get pulled through the gay mirror? That's what Elm Street 2 is about, right? Gay mirrors. And they go cha. And they get you. Well, that's what the guy who is the star of that movie says all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a whole documentary about it.
Yeah, there is. On the, you know about the male gaze? This is the gay mirror. It's very, very similar, but like less threatening.
The mirror gaze.
The mirror gaze.
There you go. Yeah, so I had as much fun with Borderline as I did with Body and Soul. It is shorter.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that.
Sure.
There's those like shots where it feels like was this shot outside or is this shot in front of like a photograph of a cloud?
I mean that'd be
like
pretty cool
in a portrait in a portrait studio, because it is very like, I don't know. It is like, I don't know. It feels like Andy Milligan movies, which I know you haven't got to experience, and I haven't really watched a lot of. But this has that excitement of people just making movies with limited means, but this is the story they're going to tell. This is the one, and this is some auteur stuff right here, because Kenneth McPherson wrote and directed this.
Can you describe what auteur means?
Shot it himself.
Can you describe what that means to me? Because I'm kind of unfamiliar with that term.
Pure McPherson.
Oh, okay. I know Pure Duncan.
Yeah.
Robert Duncan McNeil.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I know about that guy. Do you?
Nope.
Ah, shit. Okay, never mind. We were talking about auteur. Tell me about the stabbing scene, Jarrett.
What do you want to know?
What did you think of that? What did you think of that stabbing scene?
What do you mean?
Remember how that played out?
Oh.
And then, it was like hand waving a knife and then man reacting.
Oh,
and then hand waving a knife and then man reacting.
That's how.
And then hand waving a knife and then man reacting.
That's how it happened. That's silent film style.
For minutes
on end.
Minutes.
It's intensity. It's about the intensity.
Oh my god! It's just.
What were you doing? Describe what you were doing during that scene.
I was writing my resignation.
I might have had
podcast.
It's possible I had another browser open at that point. I might have been, starting my taxes.
Yeah. No, I was definitely writing my resignation. I said it's been a nice long time. Sadly, we have to end, and it is entirely because of this knife fight scene.
That's the tap out, huh?
It's
not the poo chomping. It's not all the egregious animal abuse, the wanton rapes. It's hokey knife fights.
I'm just saying, I didn't because I'm clearly here, but it was close.
Yeah, this week, the two double header silent film feature length, because at least only one of these was like an hour long. But man. It was like 71 minutes long.
However long it was, it felt longer than it is. That's the only way you can describe
what a conversation we're having here.
I know, I know all these like weird old cinema dudes are gonna be like, "Oh, you don't understand." It's like, yeah, no, we do.
We do.
We do understand. We've watched a lot of shit.
What have you?
Yeah. Borderline to me was like, within the first 5 minutes, I went, oh, no.
Oh, no.
I was like, uh-oh, because like I honestly I like Body and Soul I wasn't big into, but I was like, all right, whatever. And then like yeah, like 5 minutes into Borderline, I was like, this is just not how I want to spend my day, and it really ruined my day for me. Um, it feels incredibly long. It is so like, and it's like I said, I know Silent Era is like whatever. I don't give a shit. It's it's so over the top, like the way these people are acting. I was like, I don't fucking care, and I don't care about the story. Don't care about Knife Lady. Paul Robeson's always walking around and it's just like close-ups of him smiling,
Yeah.
like ah, and I was like, why are they focusing on this
Look at
so
look at that
much?
smile. Look at this man that you can't hear.
Yeah, and it's like I know he's like a handsome man, but like it was just like so focused on him, like yeah, like teeth like bared, like growling, like a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Like a bear or something, kind of, You know what I mean? He's kind of like a bear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at the movies ahead. I was curious what the runtimes are. Oh,
And what did you find?
Sanders of the River is 88 minutes. Jericho
Okay.
is 77 minutes. So at least they're not 4 hours long between the two.
And there's no more silent films, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's
Actually, they all.
that's better.
I mean, they're all short. Actually, all these movies are shorter than Body and Soul.
Yeah, but put those two runtimes together because that's the real count of the week. So what, 150 minutes
Well, let's see here.
next week?
Hour and a half plus 77. So yeah, it's like just under 3 for 2 more weeks. It's like you could either watch Sanders, what is it, Sanders of the River and Jericho, or you could watch Goodfellas or Casino.
Or you could play Luigi's Mansion 3
Yeah.
for that time, and you could almost get halfway or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of things you could do at that time, Jared. You could sit on the floor and shit your pants.
I could do that at work.
You could do that at work. Yeah. I think we need more reviews like that. You could either spend 110 minutes watching this or shitting your pants on the floor. What would you rather do? Because what are people going to say?
Nothing.
That's a gotcha. That's an IGN style of review formatting. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah. So, anyways, when's the last time you sat on the floor and shit your pants?
Not for a long time, RJ. It's been a while. Overdue though.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Every single person who has been alive has shit their pants. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And will do so again. You come into the world shitting your pants, and you leave this world shitting your pants. So it's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, even if you're a young man and you die, you know what happens when you die? Shit.
Yeah, but you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead, but your pants still fill up right full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that going for us.
But what about the memories along the way?
What's about the shits you made along the way? And if any of those were in pants.
My shit pants memories. I like to put those ones out of my mind.
No, you gotta embrace that. There's nothing wrong with shit in your pants, dude. Like you have you ever seen a silent film from the 1930s that was also artistic and some would say truly special?
Yeah.
Truly special. It's called Border Radio. It's a silent film. It's about alcoholism.
Yeah.
And gay stuff.
What's its psychoanalytic approach?
Have you ever seen Symbiocytotoxoplasm?
I have.
Okay.
I've seen it twice.
Have you ever seen Nightmare 2?
You mean, we'll call it Freddy 2, please?
Yeah, Freddy 2. Have you ever seen Freddy 2?
Yep.
Okay, now last question. And this is the serious one. Do you know about Gooigi?
I do now, tonight.
Okay, you're ready.
Okay.
You're ready.
Okay.
So,
you want to hear from people who hate Body and Soul?
I mean, I guess. It's like I was saying. I don't really like this, but like,
No.
I don't care enough to hate it. I don't know how anyone could.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure that
it's letterboxed for a reason.
Yes.
So first we've got Hot Shot. Written
I see him.
in Leet. I understand this was the very, very first all-black cast of any movie. I don't know if that's true. But they used a "it's all a dream" twist. I'm not kidding.
You want to about Hot Shot's bio?
Sure.
21. Learning art, history, and film studies in college. And have an international background. And want to give films a fair shot. And give constructive criticism. That is my goal. Why do they have to state that they have an international background? What does that mean? You've moved a couple of times? Who fucking cares? Favorite films include Leon. That's kind of upsetting. The Red Violin, Fisher King, Everything Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh, man.
Isn't Leon problematic now? I don't know. I've never seen Leon. I've heard that people are like,
some people, yeah, some
Leon.
Some people say that.
Yeah. Anyways, not me.
Yeah, there's a few people.
I got an international background.
Okay, I got one here for you, though, RJ. How about Mia Ellis? 1.5 stars.
Okay, I got it.
This film has a amazing historic value, but the story sucked ass.
Smoked them. Hey, this person's favorite films also include Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No.
But they also have Boy, the Taiki Watiti, Spirited Away, and My Own Private Idaho.
Ooh.
Which is a interesting pick.
Yeah.
Interesting pick, Jarrett. So they got that going for him.
Troy Peterson mentions one of those movies you almost regret rating so low after reading about how the censors mangled it so badly. Admittedly, I don't know if it being any longer would have helped, but the imposed all a dream ending definitely doesn't.
Okay, I didn't read this bio yet, but I just saw the first line and I stopped. And I said, I'm going to read this live to J Bones.
Okay.
Did you see what this person's picture is? This Troy Peterson?
I see a G.
On a hat?
Yeah.
Green hat?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's their bio. I wear a Green Bay Packer hat.
Whoa.
And I like movies. And I make movies.
Wow.
But movies don't define me. Because I like politics.
Oh.
And history.
Oh, no.
And stuff. But films are still pretty important. Gaze upon my lists, ye mighty in despair. Just incredible stuff in the bios this week.
Ooh, man, we found them.
This person has 2 Peter Pan films in their favorite films, and then The Alamo somehow in Citizen Kane. So that's good. That's good. So if you want to check out the films of Troy Peterson, they're filmmaker TMP Productions. I'm guessing that stands for Troy Michael Peterson. I'm guessing. Probably. I'd love to see one of these guys' films. Hey, TP, if you're listening, send me your film. I'll watch it. New Patreon goal. If you're an independent filmmaker, send us your films. I'll check it out. As long as it's loggable on Letterboxd.
Yeah, as long as it's worth points.
Yeah, and as long as you're not willing to incel me if I don't like your film.
Oh, no guarantee.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. It's a risk, but it's calculated. What else we got?
I don't know. That's good for that one. Let's go over to Borderline.
Oh, dear.
Why, it's Creepsville's own Ruben Barbosa.
Uh-oh.
1.5 stars.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's cool that Paul Robeson had no issue working on a film with an openly LGBT cast and a director that was, according to Wikipedia, quote, distinctly bisexual. The movie itself did nothing at all for me. I could see this working better as a 30-minute short, but at 70 minutes it just feels tedious and self-indulgent. A storyline focusing on an interracial love triangle in the late 20s, early 30s should be tense and engaging. However, most of the time I was either bored or confused as to what was going on. I will give it this credit, though. Compared to Body and Soul, it was less of a slog.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was about 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, as I've said many times, if you're comparing one piece of shit and another piece of shit, one might be better than the other, but at the end of the day, it's all shit. You know what I mean, Jared? Ruben Barbosa has a single rating, and it is for this film.
Oh.
Their bio: I wear a Green Bay Packer hat, and I'm a movie maker.
Wow.
Oh, that's good stuff. Ruben likes good films.
Ruben revealed.
Nah, they got good stuff in here. So nothing suspicious. Nothing suspicious. Good stuff. Good stuff. What were we talking about?
There's another little tidbit Ruben mentions. Also, here's another tidbit I found on Wikipedia. Eslanda, Paul's wife, played Ada in Borderline. Eslanda wrote in her diary of the experience, quote, Kenneth, the director and HD, an actress, used to make us so shriek with laughter with their naive ideas of Negroes that Paul and I often completely ruined our makeup with tears of laughter.
Oh, was this the one? This one has like whiteface and blackface, doesn't it? Am I crazy? I felt like it, or the actors were wearing makeup that just didn't look natural.
Yeah,
is what I got, because I don't know if it was supposed to be like black actors with even blacker faces, painted, or there were some actors that had lightened faces. I found it was really weird. I was like, are they doing a black face and a white face in this? So it's different people. People didn't look natural.
I think it was bad makeup.
I think that's what it was. I was just what is going on with people's complexions?
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe just bad makeup.
Maybe it's bad makeup. From Billy Paramore, besides the blatant racism, I didn't get anything else that went on. Maybe could have used some more vocab cards to let me know what's happening, such as why these white people are acting so crazy. They didn't mind using a vocab card to call black people the N-word.
I mean, that is right in the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, want to guess what one of this person's favorite movies is?
Everything, Everywhere, at once.
They also wear a Green Bay Packer hat.
Wow.
And they make movies.
They're pretty popular, the Green Bay fans.
They
love them. A lot of support for the team.
Yeah. This person also.
How are they doing this year?
Oh, they suck. The Packers are such shit. Aaron Rodgers is such a fucking loser. Just in general, he lied about being vaccinated for 2 years. He came back. He looks just like a drywaller who's been working for 4 days and hasn't slept or showered. And he's just absolute shit now. I hate Aaron Rodgers. He's such a fucking loser. But yeah, the Packers have just tanked their season. They're fucking done. They're probably gonna get rid of him.
As vivid as your image that you've painted is, I feel it's very unfair to drywallers. They work hard.
No, I know they do, but what I mean, it's a drywaller who's been on the job for 3 or 4 days. Is what I mean to say.
Looks like a piece of shit millionaire football player.
Yeah, exactly. So drywallers, they do important work. It's good stuff. Everybody needs that. Trades are super important, but any trade that you've worked for so long and then you just Google Aaron Rodgers and you'll be like, oh, I see. You go, I see what you meant there. So yeah, the Packers suck ass, dude.
No.
But fuck them, whatever. I don't care. I don't give a shit about Green Bay. Fuck them.
Or does it live in your head rent free, RJ?
I never understood what that means.
I understand what it means. It doesn't make it any worse, or any less worse.
I know, but I know what people are trying to say with that, and I know what you're doing. But I know what people are trying to say with that. But it's everything is fucking in your head like that. It's nothing. What do you mean? What do you have to consciously think about stuff? It's I don't want to forget this. It's going to be here forever, and it's just no, that's not. Shut up.
Hey, shut
Internet. Up. Hey, shut up. Internet folk. Anyways, So we got that going for us.
We did it.
We stretched it out.
We did. We stretched it out. Big
like
and
2.5 hours or something. I don't know.
Yeah, about there.
It's decent enough.
Yep.
It's decent enough, my man.
It's all these animals deserve.
Well, I mean, the rope heads out there, they're not gonna like it, but what are you gonna do?
Well, you know what? Maybe in the next 4 movies, things will turn around. Because last week was whatever. Emperor Jones was cool.
It was fine.
These were not so cool. And now we're gonna get into those talkies again. Maybe they're short. Maybe there'll be some good ones in there.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Just think, but soon enough, in 3 weeks, RJ will be experiencing what we all know and love: Italian cinema.
Oh my god! Oh hey,
we have that at least to look forward to.
We're watching that new season of White Lotus. I'll tell you about next week. It takes place in Italy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Ooh, ah. So I got some stuff to talk about next week.
Cool.
Aliens. Oh.
Any final thoughts?
It's not that it's silent films, because there are silent films we enjoy. It's that it's silent films that suck ass, as that one person put it. So that's what it is. Okay, you guys.
Oh.
That's my final.
Yeah.
Thought.
Yep. There you go. After the break, RJ and I are going to have a knife fight.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is audio, so people can't tell. Jarrett was doing knife wiggle, and I was going, reacting. And Jarrett was doing knife wiggle, and I went, reacting. And Jarrett was doing knife wiggle, and I went, reacting. It's a whole thing. You had to be there. You got to watch it.
No, you don't.